Harry Walker, good morning.
Hi, how you doing?
You know, we've worked together many times on quite a few recordings. One thing that I've always wanted to ask you that I never got around to was, what age did you start playing the guitar?
About age 9. During World War II, my dad worked steady 4 to 12 at the shipyard, so I would stay up Saturday nights and wait for him to get home. He worked 7 days a week. And I'd listen to the Grand Ole Opry. And I heard a steel guitar, a brand new instrument. And I asked my mom for one for Christmas. And instead, I got a $14 Sears and Roebuck F-hole guitar, flat top.
Yeah.
First time I got in front of a crowd was when I think it was 10. I'd been taking guitar lessons for about a year. And somebody talked me into playing for a PTA meeting. I guess my mother? I don't know. Anyway, I had to play for the PTA meeting in the auditorium at the Clayton School, and I was behind the curtain. I stood up there and they opened the curtain and there was everybody looking at me. And I about fainted at that point. But then I started playing a song that I didn't know how to stop. I couldn't stop, I didn't know how to stop it. Once I got started, I couldn't quit. It just went on and on and on and on.
How old were you then?
10.
Oh, 10.
I think they finally pulled the curtain on me. I don't remember. That was my introduction to playing in public.
Now, did you continue that all through high school? And
I played guitar off and on, a little bit here, a little bit there, nothing ever really serious.
Recreational?
Yeah, just for fun now.
We just had a lot of fun. We'd get together at Harry's house or my house. Harry had I had a Hammond at the time that was an old Hammond C3. Harry bought a Hammond M3. I remember on one of Harry's videos, he introduces your dad playing. He said, "Here's Jim Cheadle on the Hammond M3." And I thought it was funny because nobody ever talked about a Hammond M3. It was always a Hammond B3. It was a significant Hammond, so I got a kick out of that. But we did it, every couple of weeks we'd get together and never formally, but a lot of fun with friends. Always had friends over.
And I'd take my guitar and I'd sing country music. And one time they buried it on me because I got tired of hearing country music.
It was mostly country. Harry had sheet music. Has, I guess, still sheet music. He had all the good sheet music and all the, mostly 50s. I shouldn't say country. It was a lot of the 50s music. That was his generation, my generation.
Popular songs that I liked as I was growing up.
1952. He worked we both worked at DuPont. He was already working there in the shipping department, and I started to work there in the clerical department. And we met there and started dating. We'd go to the Oasis in Mullica Hill on Friday nights to dance, and then over to Woodstown to the diner to get something to eat. We did that for a couple of years, and then Harry went in the Army.
It wasn't until I got in the Army that I began to wake up. All my Army friends were college graduates. It began to occur to me that they weren't any smarter than I was. I started going to Extension College at the University of Virginia, Extension course, while I was in the Army. And then after I got out, I applied for college at a few places. I took one look at my high school transcript and said, go back and make up all the courses you either failed or didn't take, then come back and talk to us. So I went to Lincoln Prep in Philadelphia at night for 2 years. It was an accelerated high school. You could do a year's work in 6 months. And I made up 2 years worth of math, 2 years worth of science, 2 years worth of languages. Did that in 2 years. At night, then I applied for college and got accepted to Rutgers in Camden. By that time, David had come along.
And son David was born in 57. And I continued to work at DuPont while Harry was going to Rutgers.
I went to Camden for 3 years, graduated in 3 years with a degree in science. Then got a job at Mobile, and then went to school at night at Temple, and got a degree in analytical chemistry.
Yeah.
Worked for Mobile Research and Development, had a good job, good pay, good benefits, and good retirement.
Well, it was you and your team that came up with Mobile One.
Mobile One.
Synthetic oil.
Yeah.
That's quite an accomplishment.
Well, I was on the analytical end, not the development end.
Right.
They made it and I analyzed it.
Oh, okay.
And then Kim came along in 1962. Harry was graduated from Rutgers by then and went to work for Mobile.
I'm not sure of the time frame. I would say, I'm guessing maybe 10 years before I moved up here, so it would make it like 20 years ago, something like that. And I know Harry had owned a property on Broadway in Pitman, and he was over there on a ladder, I believe, cleaning out the gutters, with leaves and stuff, and the ladder started to slide, and Harry fell to a concrete driveway, and that's when he injured his back, right around that time. Sadly. I think it all, from my knowledge, I think it almost destroyed him. I mean, it was, how does a person deal with that? He was so active and such an outdoors person with the scouting and the skiing and the bicycling, and to not be able to do this anymore. But he survived, and I guess maybe music fills a large part of his life now, fortunately for him. I think he's done amazingly well.
It's really amazing. I don't know. I complain enough as it is, just bringing my equipment when I have plenty of people helping me. I don't know how he does it. Like, bringing all his amp and all his equipment in just by using his lift on his van. It's pretty incredible.
He does things that I don't imagine. I don't know how he does. I mean, he does many things that some people that walk normally would never try. I don't know how he does that, but he does.
Started playing with the Silvertones when I retired. A friend of mine, Ed Coles, retired about the same time I did, and he decided to start a big band, 20-piece big band. He'd always wanted his own 20-piece big band, and so he started the band. And the band is still in existence. It's been about 15 years, I guess. I played with him for about 10, and I signed on as a boy vocalist primarily. Played guitar too, although that's really not a big band instrument.
He would go to Washington Township Park and play. We would go over there, and up at Bethel Mill Park when they played there. I would go to listen to him and different jobs.
We played for a lot of parties and weddings and stuff like that. Concerts mostly. I was talking earlier about performing with a band called the Sentimental Gentlemen. It was just that was a nursing home band. 10 pieces when everybody showed up. I played with them for about 10 years with the Sentimental Gentlemen. We had one guy, Eddie Broomall, with a superb voice. Eddie Broomall could have sung with any big band of the 40s if he had been able to count. Couldn't count. He would sometimes give a whole note 2 beats, sometimes 3, sometimes 5. You never knew.
He could hear a song over
Hear a
and
song
over
5,000 times and still not
do
do it. Still not know how to sing it in time with the music. I used to introduce him as the last remaining member of the Broomall String Band. He was the last original member.
He's the family of the
He's the Broomall String Band
family.
He's the only original member, I think, of the Broomall String Band at this point.
That's left.
Frank Barry, the guy that does All By Myself, he was 92 when we recorded that.
Yeah.
And he was just superb. Well, that's what I always liked about Frank Barry when he played with the Sentimental Gentlemen. He could get up and he could sing to every old lady in the place no words on a cheat sheet, no music, no nothing. Just stand right up there and sing right to them. And every old lady in the place thought that he was singing right to her. He just had a knack for that. I learned that from Frank Barry, because he knew just how to sing to an audience. He knew just how to sing to every old lady in the place. Frank just died a couple years ago. He was still performing at age 92 with the Sentimental Gentleman.
Did he play the piano too?
Played the piano, yep. He played for many years at the Courthouse Cafe up in Woodbury. Regular piano player, singer up there. And I guess that's where he learned all his, his sing-along skills. And then I went out on my own, started entertaining in the senior circuit.
Under the
name of Music Man.
Right, the Music Man.
And I started out getting the canned backgrounds, the karaoke type backgrounds.
I know.
But I didn't like them. I didn't like most of them. Just weren't. Some of them were okay, and some of them weren't. But for the most part, they weren't the songs I wanted to play. So I bought myself a keyboard, one of those keyboards where you can play chords with one finger and bass lines and all that stuff.
Right.
And I thought, boy, this is great. So I started making my own backgrounds, and they were okay, except that they lacked something. And Jim Cheadle put piano tracks on top of my tracks, and he also put Hammond M3 tracks.
Use this organ.
Right here, this Hammond M3, and they came out very good. They really, considering how we did them, they came out awfully good. We didn't do them in the studio. Some of my backgrounds are the ones your dad did, or Jim Cheadle did in the studio, and they complement mine real well. I mean, all of them are good backgrounds. Mine wouldn't be all that good without all the extra stuff that Jim put on them, the Hammond tracks and the piano tracks. Remember the first one we did?
What was it?
Bill Bailey, won't you please come home?
Bill Bailey.
First one we did was Bill Bailey, won't you please come home? He'd never heard the song before, had no music, and sat down and played the piano part one time through, just the way I use it all the time. Came out perfect.
It's amazing.
Takes real talent to do that. He's learned a whole new repertoire. He's learned a lot of songs he never heard before.
I've learned so many new songs from you.
That's right, you have a whole new repertoire.
That's right.
You could go out on the senior circuit.
Oh, they love him. Yeah, the old ladies love him. Mm-hmm.
They all think I'm a cute young thing.
Do they,
No, they like his kind of music because they're familiar with his music. They know every word to every song, and I think it sparks something in them that is in their memories, and they tap their feet and clap their hands. Yeah, they really like the kind of rhythm that he plays.
Half of it is whether they like you. The other half is mostly whether they like your music. If they like you and like the music you do, then that's most of it.
I think they love him. Again, I've never been to one of the shows, but from what I'm told, that Harry is the Music Man. They love him. They love to have him come entertain them.
Well, people like it, and I enjoy doing it. There'll be a change in the weather, a change in the sea. Yeah, I'm getting the sign that I better quit here. Can we do one more? Okay. We'll do one from the year 1929 to end with.
They got to have somebody out there doing the things that they know and love. And,
Yeah, I wonder what's going to happen to all this music after this generation goes.
well, we've got it documented on 3 CDs: Homebrews 1, 2, and 3,
Mm-hmm.
plus all your other ones.
I'm already starting to get requests in some of the over 55 communities for more rock and roll. So
Oh,
it
really?
won't be too long before The music, that old music that I do, will be gone. I think the stuff that I play will eventually just go away, because that'll be. I think rock and roll, 50s, mid-50s on up, rock and roll will be around, even when 80s and 90s rock and roll was popular. But I think the stuff that I play, all that pre-1950s stuff, is eventually going to go away. Nobody will know it anymore.
World War II,
It'll all be gone someday.
Glenn Miller stuff.
Yep.
Oh gosh.
Nobody will know anything about it. It'll be about as popular as Civil War stuff is. You know? Today's old folks don't even know that.
The music of the years gone by.
Just the way it goes.
Okay, Harry, here we go.
All right.
Ain't she sweet, just coming down the street? I ask you very confidentially, ain't she sweet? Ain't she nice? Look her over once or twice. Ask you very confidentially, ain't she nice? Just cast your eye in her direction. Oh, me, oh,
Harry's a good musician, and his voice now, you know, when I listen to him sing now, his voice is fantastic, and his guitar playing abilities.
Confidentially, ain't she sweet? Well, 5'2", eyes of blue. Oh, what those 5 foot can do.
I can honestly say that my pop-up is basically the only reason that I really got involved in music. He bought me my first piano, he bought me my first guitar, he paid for all my music lessons. He got me involved with music at a really early age.
Now if you run into a 5'2", covered with fur, diamond rings and all them things, bet your life it isn't her. Oh, could she love, could she woo, could she coo? Anybody seen my gal? Well, 5'2", eyes of blue. Oh, what those 5 foot can do. Anybody seen my gal? Turned up nose.
He's just been a huge influence, and I can't really imagine that I'd be involved with music if it wasn't for my pop-up.
Now if you run into a 5'2", covered with fur, diamond rings and all them things, you bet your life it isn't her. Could she love, could she woo, could she coo? Anybody seen my, you know what I mean by, anybody seen my gal? Da 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 da.